Okay, the Lucerne Valley Johnson Valley Municipal Advisory Council is now in session at 5 o'clock. And would you please stand for the flag salute? Gentlemen, if you're wearing a hat, remove your hat. And Harold, would you please lead us in the flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Okay, roll call. Lorraine has an excused absence. Well, she's not here, but it looks like the rest of us are here. Okay, approval of the agenda. So I did want to make one comment. I was very late in getting out the final version of the agenda. Anyway, so we'll not have a meeting in December. And anyway, never mind, forget that. So looking for approval for the agenda. Okay, motion's been made, second? Motion been made and second to approve the agenda. All in favor? Aye. Oppose? Abstain? Okay, everybody had a chance to read the minutes that Betty put together for us from the last meeting? And she emailed it to everybody, so we should have all had a chance to review it. You didn't? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you did. Oh. Okay, well, probably in the future won't. If I say it's okay, then send it to everybody. Because they all are allowed to have input on it also. So, oh, yeah, go ahead and send it to them the same time you send it to me. Hopefully we can get you replaced. That would make you happy, I know. Mark, we have to work on that. We do not have an official record, a recording secretary. We do not have one. We need to work on that. Okay, so approval of the minutes. Do I have a motion? Okay, motion's been made. Seconded. All in favor? Oppose? Abstain? Okay. Before we go into our public comment, we have with us Bob Stevenson. Bob has been hired by San Bernardino County to record our meetings, along with many other meetings that he records, and these will be put online on YouTube. So, Bob, I thought maybe I'd ask you to take a minute and just tell us what you got going on. Oh, use your...
Yeah. Can you hear me, Bob? Bob takes video of many of the organizations throughout the Morongo Basin and beyond, water boards, city council meetings, whatever. He's a professional videographer, and this will go on YouTube, and it's going to be labeled Lucerne Valley Mac. So just go on YouTube and search for it, and you'll see these meetings. In hopes that it'll stir some controversy. No, not controversy. No. It'll spur some interest in the community, and they may want to come down and participate, which, some meetings have good attendance based on the agenda items, and some don't. And now you can watch it from home if you don't feel like you're going to attend. And then on the next meeting, you can make your comments and bring up the issues that you think are important to the community. So how long have you been doing this, Bob? 25 years. And you'd think he's sick of it, but Bob loves politics. Yeah, Bob is a professional. You probably noticed that when he was setting up that he does it well, and he's meticulous on sound and wants to make sure everybody's going to hear the video once it's shown on YouTube. And that's about it. Thanks for showing up, Bob. We appreciate it.
Go ahead.
Can you say Lucerne Valley, Johnson Valley Mac, and we might even get some viewership from Johnson Valley? You can't fit it in there.
I tried to tell him that, but he wouldn't believe me. Well, you know what, though, you could put it in whatever that you call it, I think you publish every month, the magazine that you guys publish every month, you could put it in there. I don't see why not.
Yeah, whatever you
Yeah, I think Lucerne Valley Mac is, it's easy for people to get to. It's easy for them to remember that, so. Yeah. Yeah, and if you find later that you'd like another title on it, then check with Roger. He can advise you on that. It can always be changed.
Okay, moving on then, public comment section now. Members of the public wishing to address the council will be asked during this section of the agenda if they have an issue to bring to the attention of the council which is not an item on the agenda. By raising of hands, the chairman will ask any individual to address the council at that time. Please honor the 3-minute time limit when addressing the council and complete thoughts quickly if noticed while speaking. All testimony given before the council may be recorded. Since council discussion of an item not on the posted agenda is not allowed, these concerns may be addressed in a future meeting as soon as practical under non-action items. For non-action items and action items, the public will be given an opportunity to speak during the discussion of each item. If speakers wish to pass material to the council, please hand it to the recording secretary for distribution. Legal, political, legislative claims against the county, campaign, court issues, and family law issues are not appropriate discussion for the MAC consideration. Okay, now that you all have that all memorized, do we have any comments, public comments this evening? Okay. Our guest speakers tonight, looks like we have no one here from the Sheriff's Department, County Fire, CAL FIRE, or CSA 29. This is going to be a pretty short meeting, folks. Good, because I didn't have dinner. So we'll move to item E, 3rd District Report, Field Representative Mark Lundquist. Mark, what do you have for us?
There it goes, yeah. Nothing really of any startling nature except the community plans that are out there and people are dissecting them. And I can honestly say that there's been a myriad of opinions on it. I think the people in the Morongo Basin are basically going to ignore that document. There's nothing in it that they particularly care for. They believe that it is an action document, and a lot of the actions are, and not the sponsors, but the people that are supposed to react to each one of the points in there. There isn't enough people in any of these communities, whether it be the Morongo Basin or the Lucerne Valley, to actually do those points and bring it in, and particularly the ones that are going to take some money to achieve. So we're waiting on planning to come out and find out what's going on, what the comment, I guess the comment period closes soon, 20th? Monday, yeah. Find out what the comment period produces out of land use services and out of planning, and we're going to find out exactly what their next plan is. We've suggested, and like the other communities have, that they take the 2007 community plans and just update them to the things that are currently, any of the changes that have currently come along since the 2007. Some of the communities have changed a little bit. Joshua Tree has, for instance, Wonder Valley has some issues that they would like to address. And this isn't rocket science, and these are minor things that can be added to the 2007 community plan and then rolled into the general plan. So that's basically where we stand. We're getting the same comments that we've had for the last 3 months with this action plan that has come out. I thought Richard Shelby did a pretty good job on that Chuck Bell, by looking at each action plan in there and dissecting it. I read it thoroughly. In fact, I read it twice. I didn't see anything in there that I found inaccurate, and that's the same with the one in the Morongo Basin. We haven't formally gone through point by point, but we've looked at it and came up with the same conclusion that this thing is probably unworkable for the community that we're in, and we're going to pursue it with planning. And I think Chuck and you and I have had a conversation on that, and we're going to see what we can do to get some other people together, maybe some chairs of the MAC, and discuss this thing with planning and find out where they're going on it. And that's about it for now. That seems to be the major topic that we're dealing with now. Other than that, things are going smooth. Holidays are coming up, so happy Thanksgiving and Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Mark. I appreciate it. Land Use Committee, we still have to get together and talk about the latest solar project. And we haven't done that yet. I was real sick last month, so I wasn't able to do anything. So that's coming up. And the Cemetery Committee, Jean?
I was commenting on how well the sound is on this thing. Here I am going to scream into it, and it does pretty good. There's nothing to report on the Cemetery Committee right now. We're pretty much at a standstill. We're not, we don't seem to be getting anywhere with it, so I got to make another attempt at something else, and we'll see what happens. Right now, nothing.
Thank you. Any correspondence? Okay. Information and non-action items. Just wanted to continue the discussion on building a water park at Russell Park. I was not able to do any research this month on some different ideas and different contractors that do that kind of project, and maybe what it would cost. So that'll be upcoming on my plate of things to do. Does anybody have any comments on the water park?
I really think it's a good idea because there's children around that summertime, they would enjoy that a lot, I think.
Is this the Russell track you're talking about? Oh, that would be great. I'm beginning to see more people come out there now. I mean, it's still not a whole lot that's making a big issue of, going out and having picnics and stuff. But I do see the kids going over there and playing basketball, and I do see cars there once in a while. Looks like they're having picnics and the kids are playing. So at least it's beginning to get known in the neighborhood. So I think the water park would just be an awesome thing.
I'd like to encourage everyone, if you get a chance, to go to Mojave Regional Park, Mojave Narrows Regional Park down off of Ridgecrest, and take a look at what they have there. Now that one is probably way more than we'd ever be able to drum up money for, but we took our grandkids there a couple years ago, and I'm telling you, they had so much fun in that. The kids seem to even have more fun in that than they do in a swimming pool.
Yeah.
So it's just really a fun thing. So I'd like to continue this on the agenda for the next while. Okay, the community plan. I talked to Mark had alluded to it a little bit when he was talking, but I want to do two things. We don't have it on the agenda for an action item, but Chuck Bell's been bugging me to sign on the dotted line on the letter that they have going, to endorse the letter that they have going regarding the community plan. I don't know if the rest of the council members have read it or not, but I might be inclined to do that, but because it's too late to do it, I'll just have to sign it as myself and not representing the whole board. So if you guys want to sign on that letter also, just stating your title, that would probably work. I I wanted to take a different approach on going after this community plan. You know, for one thing, you know, it seems like all I ever do, or all we ever do, is we send negative letters to San Bernardino. And I really am tired of having to do that. I mean, we're fighting all these solar things, and, you know, the community plan should be a good thing for us. We have a great one now that could use a little tweaking. But the way this new program is by these, I'm guessing freshman college students wrote this thing, that it's totally unworkable. So what I've asked Mark to do, if he could put a meeting together with all the MAC chairs, maybe even in Loving Goods District, and get in a meeting with Loving Good, Supervisor Loving Good, Supervisor Ramos, maybe the Director of Planning Department, I don't know. Whatever, I'm going to leave that up to Mark, who he thinks should be there, and have a roundtable discussion with those guys so they can actually hear it from us what the problems are. So, board out, what do you guys think of that? Sound like a plan? Okay.
I was part of the committee that did this 2007 community plan, and let me tell you, we worked for weeks with tweaking that thing to make it come out for the best of our community. And the only thing was, solar was not here then. And that's the thing we have to take care of.
Okay. Let's open to the public. Does anybody in the public have any comments about what we're talking about? I see one shaking head no. Yes, sir.
I like the idea.
Wait, hold on a second. You better get up.
I like the idea of us both being positive and preserving the 2007 with the upgrades. It just seems so obvious, and I think the Morongo Valley Basin wants to do that. We want to do it. I think the county will probably be quite fine with that. Planning, they'll probably say good.
Well, Bill, I don't remember who it was, but someone, maybe it was Brian Hammer. He went to one of the meetings where the county, like, you know how they have the meetings around for this community plan? And he got nothing but flack from one of the planning department members. So he asked him, says, well, what happens if we can't get this all together? And the guy just smugly said, well, too bad. You know, it's like, really? You know?
The thing it says at the very introduction of the Homestead Valley Community Plan is that the 2000 plan will be taken into consideration, but that doesn't mean that they're going to actually use it intact and then add to it. It's just it's going to disappear. All the things they're asking us to do, we don't have enough, as has been already stated, we do not have enough volunteers to do what we're doing. Either we've already tried to do it, we're in the process of trying to do it now, and one of the positive things that we've been after since 2009 is Scenic 247, and have we been banging our heads against the wall on that? So what good is it for us to have champions and committees if nobody's listening?
That's the word I was looking for before champions, yeah. Champions, they've assured me that the 2007 plans are still going to remain intact, but I'm wondering, and I haven't got an answer on this yet, how that's going to roll into this new so-called community plan, or what they're labeling as an action plan. So I think that Roger's idea is a good one. I will find out what other Macs are out there, and see if I can get a hold of their chairs and put something together, and try to get planning involved in this to find out exactly where those 2007 community plans stand, and are they going to stand as just an addition to it, or exactly how they're going to modify it. I agree with Betty. I would hate to see those plans just go away and be folded into this so-called action plan.
The item A1 in the Homestead Valley Community Plan is for us to all get together and promote dark skies. And as far as I've ever heard from code enforcement for years ago, we have a dark skies ordinance. If you put a stick on your ground at night and your neighbor's light shines a shadow in your yard, then code enforcement is supposed to tell them to shine that light down on the ground. And we've heard this for years, so don't we have a dark skies ordinance already? Somehow or another, we're supposed to create a new one?
I can answer that. Yeah, Supervisor Ramos has tasks a committee of dark sky to come up with some codes, and that committee has been meeting for about almost a year now, and Tom O'Key heads it up as the head. He's heavily tied in with IDA, which is the International Dark Skies Association. And part of his job was to get the park designated first, and I think they're on a silver or gold tier. They're not the top yet because they have a lot of light pollution from the Coachella Valley, but they finally achieved that, and there was a big ceremony last month at Copper Mountain College to present that award to the park. Unfortunately, they lost, in their committee, they lost one of their members that was very proactive, and that kind of set them back a little bit. But they've been tasked to reconvene and actually come up with the new codes and replace these antiquated ones. And of course, lighting has changed. There's new LEDs, there's new looms, there's new light spectrums that I know nothing about. He does. He's a technical guy. But they are going to come up with an ordinance. They're working with Andy Wingart, the code enforcement officer, who is going to eventually take those codes and roll them into the code, the dark sky code. So that's an ongoing basis, and I apologize for not putting that out public. I didn't know that it was that much of an issue until people brought it up, and that probably should have been publicized. But that is ongoing, and you're probably, we hope, within a year, see a brand new lighting code that's going to be up to date with all the new modern conveniences. Okay, thank you.
Do you have anything else?
No, thanks.
Okay, Brian, do you have something?
Brian Meter, Lucerne Valley resident. I like the idea, too, of being able to make positive comments between us and the county. And you've been working on the scenic highway thing how long? 2009. Okay, well, that's been a few years, and it keeps getting hung up and stuck. And actually, Roger, what you mentioned, I'm the one that went to the meeting in Hesperia and met with a senior planner by the name of Chris, I believe, Wallach. And I posed a lot of these questions that have come up at these meetings, and he got a little irritated with me and basically said, the old plan is dead, this is the new plan, this is the way it's going to be, you have to make it work. And I said, well, what if it doesn't work? And he says, it has to work. I said, well, what's the contingency if it doesn't work? He says, there is no contingency. This is what it is. You people have to make it work, and everybody's always trying to get things from the county. And the county, you people need to be on your own and do things within your own area, city, whatever. And I said, so there's no plan to help us work through this if we can't get the number of people we need for all these different committees. And he said, no, this is the plan. The old plan's gone. This is it. You have to make it work. And I was just beating my head against the wall because I kept asking him things, and it didn't seem to be going anywhere. But anyway, I was kind of frustrated with him too, and one of the other gentlemen that was, I guess, his boss saw, it was a small group in a small setting like this. This other gentleman came over that was another planner and kind of intervened and helped that guy cool his jets and me as well. And anyway, it didn't go well. So I asked about the scenic highway thing. They had no answers about that. Yeah, they may not even know about it. There were some other positive things that came out of that meeting that I was there. There were folks from an organization that was hired, I think, to assist with creating this whole community plan. I can't think of the name of that company right now. They're in Huntington Beach. And there were two representatives from that company. They were very young. They looked like 25 to 30 in that area. I drafted an email for you, Roger, with all this data in it and my comments as well, but I haven't sent it to you yet. Just been delayed with a lot of other stuff. But what was positive at that meeting was there was a young girl there that was helping with organizing all of the community resources, such as with us, with CERT, and with all the volunteer organizations that are available throughout the county. I can't think of the names of all of them, but you've got, like the Salvation Army and some others. What's that one where you can donate money to help people pay their gas bill? It's one of these other big groups that's nationwide that helps people fund their stuff with donated money. So she was curious about that, and so I gave her some input on the need to have, more disaster groups working together. And it seems like you have all these little groups that are doing disaster preparedness, but they're not really communicating with each other. So that was positive, and some of the other stuff. So, there are a lot of good things with the community or the county plan. But in the discussion I had with this one gentleman, it just seemed like he'd already made up his mind as a senior planner that whatever you folks worked on in '07 is just done. It's over. It's gone. So.
He doesn't live
Right. Yes, ma'am.
Did he have any explanation of how any developer was going to know what the community would oppose or go for if they were trying to, say, plat a 248 housing development in the middle of the rural living area, or if they were trying to put solar fields right next door to private property? Did they have anything saying that we would actually could have rules that a developer would have to follow?
Well, I didn't pin him down on anything like that. I was more general. Yeah.
That would not be a function of a community plan. That would be a function of the general plan.
Preserving the character of the community is a function.
Well, true.
The land use as well.
Yeah, land use.
So there would be an opportunity to have input in something like that as well, I'm sure. Just like with these solar projects, you've got an opportunity to have your input with those as well, negative, positive, whatever, before they get to the point of doing an environmental. But yeah, that's what it's going to come down to, is we're just going to have to, unfortunately, do battle with what we want and what we believe. And these people don't live in the high desert. They don't understand that things are different up here. People move here for a reason, because they're tired of living with city government and everybody crawling up your keister all the time, every time you go outside and do something. So, you can't even shoot a BB gun in your backyard in the city. You can get arrested for that. Bow and arrow, that kind of stuff. You come up here, you can do what you want. So, a little more freedom. Yeah. But anyway, I was the one that went to that meeting, and
Now, did you actually arrest people in Tustin for shooting a BB gun, or did you warn them?
I didn't agree with a lot of things. So I had a different method of dealing with stuff like that. After that, though, I did, if you want to have a discussion real quick here, I worked as a hearing examiner for parking tickets. And you talk about crazy. When you get into the beach cities and have to deal with the rules and regulations of a beach city and parking, and people just go nuts over parking tickets. And some of these people that work for the city go nuts over writing parking tickets. So having to do that balance act, it wasn't always easy. But yeah, it's difficult. So I was just not pleased with the interaction I had with this gentleman that was a senior planner for the county, and I will forward that information to you if you want to share it with everybody else, how it went, and
Yeah, thanks, I will.
involved in that too, so, anyway, thank you.
And sorry for getting the wrong Brian. I had the Brian part right, but just the wrong last name. Do we have anything else we want to talk about for, regarding the community plan? All right, I'm going to go ahead and keep this on the information on active items for a couple more months and see how things are going. Okay, we don't have any action items for this month. Council members, do you have any requests or reports? Somebody having a turkey dinner for Thanksgiving? Any of the? Oh. Okay. Okay, so nobody has any reports or anything then? Mark, you have anything else you want to add? Okay, I think we'll go ahead and adjourn. Our next meeting will be in January, on January 18th, 2018. Make that 2018. Lucerne Valley Community Center at 5 o'clock, so we'll be dark in December. So, well, you guys have a very happy Thanksgiving and a wonderful Christmas. And with that, we are adjourned. Shortest meeting in the history of ever.